Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the data entry, how to do the data entry in the right way. So the key things for data entry is the template. There is a word template which we have developed, which we use for all our data entry, all our questions entry, whether it's our partner questions or is it our own question. The first thing you want to do is to make sure that you pick the right template from the right folder. So on our Google Drive, there is a folder within Perfectis called Content Management. This is the place where you are going to find our latest and greatest. Always go to this folder to pick the right template. If the template is changing, we will publish, the US team will publish the template here. We will send an email out, but suppose we forget to send an email out, it is always good to, or a good practice to pick the template from here. So if you look at it, this is the template we're talking about. And what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this template. The current version right now, as of today, that is 1st of April, the current version is 2.4. I'm going to copy this. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to paste this into my local folder, which is under Perfectis. Make sure that you always create a folder called Perfectis within C colon, and then you paste your template in there. Make sure that there are only one template in a folder. There's only one template which is there. Do not have multiple templates in there. Suppose you are saving a file which somebody else has also created using a template. Make sure that you do not keep two such files there, because what happens is that it starts corrupting, the template starts corrupting itself and the word start crashing. So make sure that you have only one template, either this template or a file which is already, you have already working on it. There's only one file in that folder with the template in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called demo folder, and I am going to save my file here. So this is my template. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this template, meaning I will start typing the questions in this template. So first thing I'll do is I will open this template. Now make sure that there's, as I said, there's only one such file with this template attached here in the folder. You should not keep more than one file in this, otherwise this will start corrupting. So if you look at it, this is the template actually, and right now it's not showing the header and the footer, but it will show the header and the footer, and it will have a version number and when it was published. If you look at it, this is the practice test header. So important thing to know is that anytime we are creating a practice test, there are two parts to the practice test. One part is the header of the practice test, which actually gives you this information. This is the header of the practice test. I'm going to show you here. So if I go to the practice test in an application, this is the header of the practice test. It has a name, then it has a number of questions, who is the publisher, and then for what exam this practice test has been published, and what is the this topic of subject and topic. So it is very important that the header is there, and then the details are here. If you look at it, so when you go to each of, when you start the test, you will see each questions are the detail. So it is very important. Going back to the template, what is the practice test header? This header, there is only one header for a practice test. There are multiple questions we need in a practice test, but there's only one header. And also one minimum requirement of the system is there can when you publish a practice test, you have to have at least 10 questions in a practice test. So just to summarize, there is one header, and then there are multiple questions within that, and that header just talks about what is the name. The name is very important thing in the practice test. It is a unique name. So suppose you want to upload a question or a practice test with multiple names, the system will not accept it. So every test will have one unique name in the system. The description, this is something which a student will see, what this all about, what this test is about. How much time is allocated for the test? This, remember, this is not for the one question, this is for the whole group of questions which are called the practice test. So a group of question is called a practice test, and this is the header of the practice test. Country, for which country we are publishing this, India, US. Examination, for which exam this test is for, is very important, because Some tests are for only one exam, some tests are for multiple exams. So right now we do not have option to select multiple exam, only one exam. So when you publish this test, it will go into one exam, and students who have enrolled for that exam can only see that. We want students to focus so that they don't see anything which is not of their interest. Positive mark, how you are going to put the positive mark for at the exam for at the practice test level, and the negative mark. You can set it up as a header. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a demo test practice test. This is what I'm going to show you. This is test description. Let's say the time allocated 180. Always remember, always use drop down. Do not type in. If you type in to find the values, say for example I and, but always use a drop down to select it. Otherwise this starts giving some problem. So let's say these are the subject, these are the exams which are there, this, and then you press add question. So now you can keep on adding questions. So here you see the subject. Again, these are very much like a drop down, and you want to make sure that you use drop down. Do not type in where there is, if there is a drop down. Topic is also a drop down, and then you can pick the topic from here. Topic and subjects are related, so as soon as you pick the subject, it loads the topic. Complexity, there are only three complexity: easy, moderate, hard, and that's what you have to pick. And special instructions are the one where, say like if there is any special instruction to how to solve the problem or how to address the problem, for example comprehension type, we'll put it here. Important thing, do not write the question number on a special instruction, because when we load the practice test in the system, questions change from, say like question number 1 here might be, or question number 1 from the actual test, mock test, might be question number 20. So do not write the question number, always write direction. Do not write the, do not refer the question number. So I'm going to say none here. This is where you type in the questions. Now important thing is you can insert formulas. Make sure that you use equation and formulas to insert it. Make sure when you are doing equation and formula, make sure that everything is in equation and formula, because otherwise it will look bad. So I want to make sure that you use that. That's number one. Number two is make sure you use here the subscript and the superscript, because do not use font. Always use subscript and superscript to basically write the subscript and superscript. Make sure that you have these things filled. You have question. Important thing, always have a question. This field cannot be blank. Question field cannot be blank. You can keep the special instruction blank, but question field cannot be blank. You have to put the question field. You have to pick at least two options. In exam, either it's 4 or 5, at least two option, and one of the option has to be selected for correctness. What is the correct answer? You have to pick that. Answer explanation is optional. We always recommend to put that, so that when kids review it, when students review the answer, they can see what the explanation is. So the important thing here, just to summarize, that this header is one for each practice test. These are important things in the header. Everything is mandatory in the header. You cannot skip anything. In the question, every question you have subject, topic, complexity, you have and question and options. These are mandatory. You have to have that. Also, do not leave any questions blank. Do not leave any blank, like for example, like pressing this and then leaving it there and just finishing everything here. No, make sure that when you do that, you add the question, or you do only when you have to add the question. Make sure that at least 10 questions, otherwise it will not publish. Now I'm going to show you how a good data entry question and how a bad data entry question looks in the system, so that you will get an idea. So I'm reviewing a practice test which was uploaded today. This was for charter classes, chemistry, and I'm going to show you what are some of the challenges which we saw when the data came in from the Word document. So this is the question which we uploaded. There's like 50 questions in here, and if you see the first question, this is not showing as a superscript, but if you go back and look at the Word document, this was showing as a superscript. The only reason is that the superscript was done through a font, not through the actual word superscript format. So same is the case here too. So if you look at it, this looks bad. This student will get confused and they will not like it. So we want to make sure that you are using superscript and subscript in there. And then I want to show a couple of others. There are some questions where you can see. Now here you go. Let's look at it. Why this looks darker than this one? Because these are all formulas and equations. They look a little different because they get converted with MathML, and these are simple text which were put in there. So my recommendation is, if you are putting formula, make sure that everything, even the text and everything, is put in the formula so that everything looks consistent, everything looks like the same. I want to show you one, like again here this superscript is not used. Look at this again, formula and combination of text is here, which doesn't look that good. Also, if you go to organic, this is good. If you go to organic chemistry, I want to take you to organic chemistry, but before that, let's look at it. This was a table. So 0.10 was for KCl and 0.05 was for AlCl13, Cl3. So look, see how bad it looks, because subscript is missing, the table is not. Maybe we want to insert table in there. So these are the things which I noticed that we have to actually work on or take care of when we are doing the data entry. This is good. You can see the subscript here. Actually, this question was entered pretty good, but there is one question which I want to show, which is really bad, especially in the chemistry, in the organic chemistry. I think it's the next question. Let's see. Like H2O, there's no way somebody can tell this is H2O. So let's make sure that we are doing the right thing. And yeah, let's look at this chemistry. Organic chemistry. This is like C6H10. This doesn't look like C6H10. This is, so I want to make sure that you take care of these things. Be very, like, this is a kilojoule per mole, and this has to be -1. It is like showing not as a subscript, showing as a different way. Now I've switched to a different one, which is physics, and I want to show this was done great. This was done perfect, and I want to show you why I'm calling it perfect, because if you look at it, see, everything is done in the equation, so that everything looks like same font, same color and all. If you look at some of the subscript and superscript here, like, look at it, all these were done in the equation. So if you have one option which is done, make sure all the options are done in the equation. Same is the case here. Everything here was done in the equation. Look at the subscript. It's looking pretty good. Here the image was great. Look at the superscript, E is equal to AS square. Now this looks pretty good because it really looks square. So I want to make sure that here also, I want to make sure that we are actually using subscript and superscript in the right way to show that this looks pretty good and professional. Hope this helps. But if you have any question, feel free to drop me a note or give me a call or send me a note on WhatsApp. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this is helpful.